lovelies, my name is Jessica and welcome to Makeup Misfit. And yes, I am here with a deck of panning update. It has been a very long time. With that, it doesn't mean that I haven't been working on products. I just haven't sat down to film this project for one reason or another, and I honestly don't even know what those are. This just tends to be a project that I'm not consistent with. I abandoned it last year. I was hoping to not do that this year. I have had one update back in February and we are here now. So I do just kind of want to go over the products. You guys would have seen some of them over the last few months. So basically last update back in February, I rolled in 2 prompts, and for those 2 prompts, I basically took the Project Level Up Level 1 goal and split it between both of the prompts. So for one of them, I was using the Delicious Delights palette from Cosmic Beauty, and one of the prompts, my goal was to use every single shade in the palette one time, and then the other prompt, my goal was to hit 1 pan. I'm not gonna lie, I have not been reaching for that palette at all. I have used a few of the shades one time, and I have used my focus shade in that palette a couple of times, but nowhere near enough to actually be close to hitting pan. When I do open up that palette, which is kind of rare at this point, there's just nothing that's pulling me towards it at the moment, and I'm really not gravitating towards it. I open it up, I don't see anything that I really want to use in there, and I put it away. So I felt like it wasn't going anywhere. The other products on that hand, I have completely finished off. Everything is good. We are done and complete with those. So you would have seen my LA Girl bronzer. My goal for this project was to hit pan. And after I had done that, another project was to completely finish it off. And that's been gone for a while, since March or April now. I did have 2 Stila blushes, which I want to say I like casually updated in another project at some point, or just casually mentioned it. My goal was to use both of those shades 10 times in one way or another, whether it was 5 and 5, 10 combined, 2 and 8, whatever, it didn't matter. I have finished that quite a long time ago as well. The other product that I had was the shade Satin Sheets from my Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette. My goal was to completely finish that shade off, and I have done that. That's this one right here. So that is done. So 3 out of the 5 prompts are complete, and knowing how I've been not gravitating, not pulled, not wanting to use my Delicious Delights palette for the last few months, I figured it would be best to probably restart this project. Now, I didn't want to just completely end it and abandon it again this year. I was really hoping that 2024 was going to be the year that I got back on track with this project. We still have 6 months to go, so I am going to try my best. We are going to refresh, restart, and hopefully over the next few months, I can get some good progress going in whatever products end up being in this project and give you guys those updates, because I have been using them. I just haven't, for some reason, been able to sit down and actually film that update. There's a couple projects that I find in the middle of the month that I just have been missing for who knows what reason. So with that being said, I have my deck of cards here. I am going to pull out 5 brand new cards. I'm going to shuffle them with you guys on camera, and we are going to see what I end up getting. I have the prompt list and everything beside me, so we are going to shuffle and see what happens. Now, in the meantime, I do just want to plug a little bit. I have a project that I'm going to be bringing back, and I am so excited for it. I'm doing like a Throwback Thursday. So one reason I haven't done that yet is because I've been trying to find a Thursday that doesn't land super close to a bunch of projects and do like back-to-back updates. And I'm also trying to find a Thursday where I already don't have a project for that specific number that happens to be on that Thursday, like the 13th or whatever. I do have a date in mind. It is tentative, but it is probably what I'm going to go with. It is going to be July 25th, so mark your calendars if you're curious. I might do a little like heads up video just in case there's anybody who wants to join me if you're interested. I am super excited about it. It was a project that I have not done in quite a while. I really enjoyed doing it when I was. It's going to be a year long. And then thinking back on it, I was like, maybe I kind of want to go through my my projects that I was doing prior to like really getting started with this channel, I did have a project, I believe it was called Expand the Pans, that I did like 4 or 5 years ago, where basically it was essentially that I took my products that already had pan and I just tried to either expand them or completely finish them off. Now I know Dora's doing the same project. I don't know if I'm going to bring that one back or if I'm just going to focus on the one for now, and I'm thinking that's where I'm leaning towards. But I am super excited to get back into that. I've been trying to find the right date, and like I said, July 25th happens to be that date at the moment. So as long as everything goes well, because work is about to start to get busy again, as long as I'm able to film it closer to the date, I don't want to film it too far ahead because I have thought I was going to do that, then the 25th of every month starting in July will be my Throwback Thursday project, which I am not naming as of yet. So I have shuffled, I think, good enough. I'm going to pull the first 5 cards off of the top of the deck. I have my prompts right here. So again, of course, everybody knows how this works, but the face cards stay the same. The numbered cards change each month. So let's see what I get. The first card is the Jack of Diamonds, the 10 of Diamonds, the 6 of Hearts, the 3 of Clubs, and the last card is the 7 of Clubs. Okay, so we have 2 diamonds, 2 clubs, and 1 heart. So let's see. The Jack of Diamonds is cream or liquid product. Okay, I'll have to see what I have because I don't usually use cream or liquid, but I have a couple things in mind that I could use. The next product, or the next card, is the 10 of Diamonds, which is an influencer collab / brand. So that's fun and exciting. I'll have to see what I have. The 6 of Hearts is collecting cobwebs. So something that's been hanging around in my collection for a while, which I have so much of. I'm sure I have plenty that I can pull for that card. Next is the 3 of Clubs, which is going to be no pan left behind. So that's, I do like that prompt. Like I said, that's the one prompt that I didn't complete with my Delicious Delights palette, but we are going to complete it this time around. And last but not least is the 7 of Clubs, which is going to be nostalgic. So that's really exciting. I am happy with these prompts. So let me go see what I want to work on. A couple of these I'm going to have to think about a little bit, and I'm going to come back with 5 brand new products to show you guys, and I am so excited to see what I end up pulling in. So I will be right back. This definitely took a little bit of time. However, as I was going through my products, trying to figure out what I could use for these prompts, what I couldn't use for these prompts, switching a couple products in and out, my phone died. So I apologize if the camera's a little bit off from what it was before. But we are going to dive into them. I have my products sitting in front of me with the cards, so I'm ready to explain a few things, tell you guys why I chose what I did, and some of the struggles I had trying to figure out what to put into this project. So no particular order. I don't know what I chose first, so we're just going to start with what's in front of me. The first card we're going to talk about is actually the face card, which was the Jack of Diamonds. Now, this was a cream or liquid product. So as I mentioned when I rolled this or pulled this card, I don't really use cream or liquid products. I do have a small selection of them in my makeup collection, so I am able to choose something. So I was able to find a product that I was going to use. Now, what I decided to go with is my Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops, and this is in the shade Celestial. It's a very pretty shade. I love this shade as a cream, surprisingly, and powder highlighter. I don't quite remember what the actual palette was called, but it was just a highlighting palette that I used for Pan That Face palette a couple of years ago. It only had the 2 shades Celestial and Moonstone, which I believe Moonstone in the liquid version is in another project. So I did thoroughly enjoy both of those shades in both cream and powder form. So we are going to test out the liquid version of this. Now, even though I do know that I enjoy the shade, it's cream. It's liquid, I mean. So it's going to take me a little bit of time to actually use it. So I'm going to throw a light goal on it of only 5 uses. Even though it's low, it may still take me some time. Sorry, my hair is driving me nuts right now. I washed it really quick yesterday, and I don't think I like fully washed it because I was running out of time. So I got to do that again tonight. But that's besides the point. I apologize if I'm playing with my hair. It's just driving me nuts right now. Or that it looks absolutely insane currently. So we're just going to ignore the hair or try my best. So yes, 5 uses is low, but it still may be in here for a little bit if I can remember. And that's what a lot of the times it is as well, is because I don't use liquid or cream products all the time, trying to remember to use it is the biggest reason why I don't use them as often or as quickly as I probably could or should. Next, we are going to chat about prompt number 6 of hearts, which was collecting cobwebs. So if you've been around, you have heard me speak about this many times, and this is what is left in this palette. So this is actually a mix of the Solstice palette, which is what this packaging is, and I'm blanking on the name of the other palette, but it was a mini version of the Warm Edits or something along those lines. That may be what that palette was called. Now, out of these 6 shades, I know for sure that these 2 are from Solstice. I literally just dug my finger into this shade. Okay, this one may or may not have been. I don't quite remember, to be honest. This one may have been from the Warm Edits palette. But with that being said, my goal for this palette, I would like to use every shade one time, but that's not going to be a goal. It's just going to be a bonus if that happens. My goal is to hit pan in this shade. Now, the reason why I chose that shade is because it's already got a dip going. And because it is from the original Solstice palette. However, both of these shades have the exact same, I'm pretty sure, the exact same amount of use on them as I would use them together at the same time in the same way. But this one has a dip and this one does not. So to make things easy for myself, I'm going to hit pan in this shade. I don't know how long that's going to take because it is a bit of a struggle to reach for this palette and the other one, which is mainly just the Warm Edits palette in the Midsummer packaging. The Midsummer palette was my pan that palette for 2021 or 2022. I completely finished it off, loved it, enjoyed it, loved this palette at the same time, and I really haven't been reaching for them since. I've been wanting to, but at this point, I don't think I'm going to use them as a pan that palette, which is kind of what my intention was afterwards. And I really haven't wanted to pull them into anything. They've just been kind of hanging around, and they've been getting to the point where I'm just like not really sure I want to use them, but I'm not ready to declutter them. So I'm hoping that if I can, I know it's only 6 shades, but if I can use every shade in here one time, then that's cool. That's a bonus, like I said. But I'm hoping that like reaching for this palette and hitting pan in that one shade is going to help me, and even just the smallest little way to decide what I want to do with these shades. And whether or not I'm just going to end up getting rid of them or hold on to them, pull them into projects, try and use them. I really don't know what I want to do. So I'm hoping that I can actually reach for this, try and get a feel and get some thoughts on what I want to do, because I know that I need to make a decision because they're just hanging around and I'm in a weird spot with them right now. The next card we're going to talk about is the 3 of clubs, which was No Pan Left Behind. Now, this palette was in my options for level 1 for Project Level Up. So if you watch that, you know it's a Natasha Denona palette because that is the only brand that I had as options for level 1. And the one that I chose is the triochrome. I almost couldn't say that. The triochrome palette. So I'm excited because I still have not used this palette. I have swatched a couple of the shades once, but that is pretty much it. So I'm going to use every shade in here one time. Some may be easier than others. I think this bottom row is probably going to be the easiest, then possibly the top and then the middle. We're gonna have to see. I think this is going to be in here for a little bit because I don't feel like I'm going to use every shade within this month. Really, with 5 shades, I could just do like a single look. So this could be like 3 separate looks and get them over and done with, but I don't think I'm going to use it that way. We're going to have to see. but I am excited to dive into this. I really wanted to dig into it when I first bought it and I never did. So I'm happy that I found a time that I could actually use this. I didn't want to pull it into anything prior to my level 1 being rolled up, and then I was so focused on that I just never really got around to trying to use this palette. So now it's time to shine and I am here for it. All right, so these next two, I was having a little bit more of a hard time with them. This is where I had a couple of other products in that I decided that I wasn't going to work on. I pulled them out for one reason or another. The main reason is because the products were either put aside for Project Level Up or pan those eyeshadows. So I didn't really want to pull them into this project, even throw a really goal on it, because one of the goals I had would have ruined it for a palette if I pulled it into Project Level Up, and I don't want to overlap. That's basically it. That's why I chose those specific palettes for each of the projects, because I don't want to overlap anything. So I had to switch things in and out a couple times, and then that's when my phone died. So for prompt, or card, I guess I should say, 10 of Diamonds, that was the influencer, collab, or brand. Now, out of the small selection that I have, there really wasn't anything that I could pull into this project because I only have eyeshadows. I don't have an influencer, brand, or collab with any face products. I looked, there was nothing that I could see, so I was only stuck with eyeshadow palettes. Out of the eyeshadow palettes, I had a couple influencer brands, but those are in Pan Those Eyeshadows and Project Level Up currently. And I think there may have been one other one that was in, there was one more, which again is in Pan Those Eyeshadows. So my only choice is my ABH Amrezy palette. This I did have in Pan Those Eyeshadows last year, so there is some use on here and a couple of pans. Now the two pans that are in here, Barb and Cupcake, were not the shades that were pulled in for Pan Those Eyeshadows last year. It was actually the shade right down here, New Yorker. Clearly I did not hit pan on that. So I think I kind of want to just play around with this palette this month just to see what I gravitate towards, see how I use it, the shades that I kind of feel like using. I'm going to have a soft goal just to use this as much as I can over the next few weeks, and then ultimately make a harder goal next update and see what I want to do with this palette. I have a couple thoughts in mind right now. I could do, again, another no pan left behind and use every shade in here one time. I would be excluding the black, possibly the glitters. I could try and hit pan. I was thinking about this shade right over here. I could expand the pan on either Barb and or Cupcake, and or even finish one of those two shades. I could try to hit pan in a matte. I don't know where I want to go with this. I'm thinking that over the next few weeks while I'm using them, I'll get a bit of a better idea on how I'm going to want to move forward with this palette. Now, if I end up using Barb a lot, then I think I might make my goal to completely finish it off. Same with Cupcake. Now, if I end up creating a good dip in one of these shades, I'm thinking more like shimmer, then maybe my goal would be to hit pan in the upcoming month. But I'm not going to make that decision now. We're just going to see how it goes. And I just want to have fun with this palette because I did enjoy it when I used it. I remember really wanting this palette for the longest time. I bought it on sale, was super happy I got it, and then never used it until I pulled it into Pan Those Eyeshadows last year. So I haven't used it since, and I'm happy that I have this in here so I can get a little bit more love on it and get some use and see how I feel about the palette and just kind of see what I want to do and where I go with it. What is pulling me from that palette? And then last but not least, we have the 7 of Clubs, which is nostalgic. So this was another difficult product to try and figure out because the original product that I had in here was my ColourPop and Lizzie McGuire What Dreams Are Made Of palette, but that is in for Pan Those Eyeshadow, so I had to take that out. And I decided, I had a couple of other things. I also had my Violet Voss and Care Bears palette, but that is in for the future for Project Level Up. And the goal that I ultimately had on that palette would have ruined it for Project Level Up. So I didn't want to do that. I ultimately decided to take this nostalgia and put it into, like, turn it a different way. So what I decided to do is, it's still an eyeshadow, but I am going with a single eyeshadow from NYX. Now, this to me is nostalgia because of the packaging. And the packaging is like I don't know if it's when the brand first came out, but it is the old packaging. And this is when it was my first job, and I worked at a drugstore and we sold NYX cosmetics. This was the packaging. They also had the little trios that said, like, for babe's eyes only or something like that. If you know what I'm talking about. That was a long time ago. So that is nostalgia for me, because it was like when I first bought NYX, when I first started getting into makeup, my first job, I was a teenager, high school, like it's thrown it back quite a ways. So that is the way that I'm taking this nostalgia prompt and making it work for this project for me right now. So I'm going to also throw just a usage goal on here, and I know I had done it for a product at the intro of this project, but I'm going to, because the card number is 7, I'm going to throw a 7 use goal on here. So I'm hoping maybe I can get this out by the next update. I don't think I've actually used it, but I do believe I have swatched it. I'm thinking if I use this in the inner corner, then that'll be an easy 7 uses. I may continue to do it after those 7 uses, but at least I could hit that mark and then roll this out for the next update. I'm hoping that I really enjoy this. We're gonna have to see, because I haven't used it, and I'm hoping it's a really nice silver as well. I only have one other one, I believe, which is Blind, and then Natasha did on a Love palette. So I don't have very many silvers. So I'm hoping that it's one that I enjoy. So that is it. Those are the 5 brand new products that I am refreshing this project with. I hope you guys don't mind, but like I said at the beginning of this video, that I only had really 1 product, 2 prompts that I just wasn't using, wasn't gravitating towards. Everything else was being rolled out because I completely finished them off. And I just felt like mid-year, why not refresh and start from the beginning again? So over the next 6 months, hopefully I can keep up with this, keep updates going monthly. I'm crossing my fingers that this works. But yeah, that is everything. So let me know if you're doing this project. I've been trying to get back into watching panning content. So if you are doing this, let me know down below. I know that there's a playlist as well, so I could always just like go click on that and find it, but let me know and I will go to your video directly. I do like to kind of like, especially since I haven't watched anything for a while, start from the beginning and watch the whole progress, just because it's so much fun. If it's something that I keep up with, obviously I just watch like the next update as they come out, but when it's been a while, I like to start from the very beginning and watch everything go all the way through. So let me know down below. And as always, everything is also down there. I don't know how much detail about this project is down there, but Emily and Max, who created this project, I believe she's linked down below as well. So she has her videos that you can go and watch, but I know everybody knows how this project works. So that's that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys all later. Bye.